Hello, my friends. I'm here again, David Kutcher, owner of Moonlit Sea Prints. I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite artists. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite, Takashi Itō. And I'm especially coming to you today because of this amazing piece that came to me in the mail yesterday. So, before we get started, I'm going to come over here and grab my notes. So this is, again, like I said, Itō Takashi. Born in Hamamatsu in Shizuoka Prefecture, studied art at the Tokyo School of Fine Arts, and was a student at the private school of Kiyokata Kaburagi. Kaburagi was the master of nihonga painting in traditional Japanese style. Kaburagi knew the publisher Watanabe well, and his painting class developed into something of a talent pool for Watanabe, who was looking for excellent young artists to work for him. Itō Takashi became one of the artists working for Watanabe, making about 50 landscape prints for the publisher in the 1920s and 30s, with the first being in 1922, and in the 1930s and also after the war. Watanabe considered Takashi Itō one of his upper league designers like Hasui and Ito Shinsui. Their works were mostly published in Oban or larger formats. But what we have here is not a woodblock. What we have here is a very tall, I'm going to back up so you can see the scale, pillar painting. It's a watercolor, incredibly detailed, and beautiful in its detail that arrived. Most of the time, people who are into Japanese woodblock prints forget that many of these artists were trained as painters, and then even then would do most of their sketching using watercolors. They would then take these watercolors and paintings to Watanabe, the publisher, and they would work with the carvers and the inkers to capture the spirit of this into their woodblocks. So when we come over here, I'm going to walk you through some of his woodblocks that we have currently in the gallery. And I'm sure you can see how that has translated, because you can picture this just like that taller pillar watercolor as that painting. This one's a little odd, but later in his career, when he started doing self-carvings, this piece itself seems to be a play off of this one. It's kind of fun seeing them as the black and white version versus the color. So there's a little static. So you can see the black and white and the color of the same subject. I mentioned in the beginning that he's one of my favorite artists is because so many of his pieces, I wish I was there. This guy, I wish that was me. With my tenkara rod, fly fishing in this stream, I just wish this was me. Other pieces, even though this is clearly Mount Fuji, I joke with friends that I think I've hiked there, but it's up in Vermont. So to me, I've quite literally, I feel like hike this area with my snowshoes on at the base of Mount Stowe in northern Vermont. Because this feels just very New England to me, even though it's clearly not. And the same one, as winter is approaching, that feeling, the lack of people here, the quietness, the solitude, the beautiful treatment of the mountains. All of this pulling from that watercolor background that he so beautifully captures in the actual watercolor, but that his work with Watanabe carvers and inkers was able to translate to the format of woodblock printing. This painting is going to be listed on our website shortly. It also comes in the original signed box, carved wooden box that it was originally sold in. It's a very cool piece. It's definitely got some scale. And if you can see right there, right next to it, that's a little Shotai Mitsugiri-ban. So just for scale, that little piece to the right is actually 14 3/4 inches tall, or 14.5 inches tall. It looks tiny next to this giant poster, or sorry, giant pillar-sized painting. But that's the scale. Thanks for watching.